The United States is taking serious steps this morning toward airstrikes on ISIS forces inside Syria. President Obama is ordering U.S. reconnaissance flights over that country.
The president is not approving any airstrikes yet, and Syria's government says it needs to know about any attack ahead of time. David Martin is at the Pentagon, where officials are planning for possible action. David, good morning.
Good morning. These reconnaissance flights will be flown by both manned and unmanned aircraft looking for targets inside Syria. This is the first step toward launching airstrikes against ISIS in Syria.
ISIS is based in a remote part of northeastern Syria where U.S. officials say there would be little threat of American warplanes being shot down by Syrian air defenses. The plans being drafted by the Pentagon would use strikes by both manned and unmanned aircraft in an attempt to disrupt ISIS operations and kill its senior leaders. The planning began in earnest following last week's execution of journalist James Foley. Defense Secretary Hagel called ISIS an imminent threat to every interest we have. And Joint Chiefs Chairman General Martin Dempsey said the group has an apocalyptic end-of-days strategic vision which will eventually have to be defeated. President Obama has not yet made a decision, but his spokesman suggested ISIS could not count on Syria remaining a sanctuary.
The president has already demonstrated a willingness, where necessary, to use military force to protect the American people, regardless of borders.
Until now, U.S. airstrikes have been aimed at ISIS forces in Iraq. Those strikes have stalled the ISIS advance across northern Iraq, but left its center of power in Syria untouched. Airstrikes on the Syrian side of the border could disrupt but not defeat ISIS. That would require sending in troops on the ground, a move President Obama has ruled out for both Iraq and Syria. In Iraq, the U.S. is arming Iraqi and Kurdish ground troops and will perhaps send in more advisors to help take back territory seized by ISIS. In Syria, the administration has requested $500 million from Congress to train and equip local fighters to go after ISIS. But officials admit those are long-range plans at best.
You mentioned the Syrian government is demanding that all flights over its territory be coordinated with it. Well, Pentagon officials say that is not likely to happen. Anthony?
David, thank you.